Welcome to Module 14 of the OSHA 30 Construction Training Study Guide, the ultimate source for exam preparation. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most critical topics in our industry, fall protection. Here is the recap. Functional, but also safe to use in a variety of work environments.
Requirements. Let's look at some of the specific regulations for popular scaffolds.
Personal fall arrest systems are mandatory. And safety of supported scaffolds. It must be specifically designed if you're using a powered system to move.
And finally, always be aware of your surroundings. With multi-level scaffolds, overhead power
lanyards or vertical lifelines that have. Alright, let's ensure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you never miss a safety lesson. Ready to safeguard your team? This module will equip you with the knowledge and skills to implement effective fall protection systems. We'll cover the basics, inspection protocols, and practical tips to keep your workforce safe. Welcome to Chapter 1 today. We're focusing on a crucial subject, the importance of fall protection.
Let's talk numbers. Did you know that falls are the leading cause of fatalities in the construction industry? Hundreds of workers lose their lives every year from falls on the job. And every one of those numbers represents more than just a statistic. Behind each is a worker who didn't make it home, a family left to grieve, a community that suffers a loss.
This isn't just about compliance, it's about lives. Each time we put on a harness or inspect a railing, we're protecting more than ourselves. We're safeguarding families and futures. When we talk about fall protection, we're talking about making a commitment to safety on every job site, every day.
Picture Jose, a seasoned construction worker, someone who's been in the industry for years. He's comfortable on scaffolds, sure of his footing, but one day, while 4 stories up, a loose piece of equipment shifts unexpectedly. In that instant, Jose loses his balance. Everything goes silent for a split second. Thankfully, Jose was prepared. He was using the correct fall protection equipment, which caught him just as he teetered on the edge. Jose's story could have been a tragedy. Instead, he walked away with a bruised ego and a powerful reminder of why these systems matter.
Now, let's put it into perspective with a story. Jose's experience reminds us of a simple truth. Proper safety measures save lives. Every precaution, every inspection, every harness, it all matters. Some of you may remember the basics of fall protection from your OSHA 10-hour training. If that's you, welcome back. This chapter builds on those fundamentals, taking us further into the skills and knowledge needed to prevent falls on complex job sites. Because when it comes to fall protection, a basic understanding isn't enough. Advanced insights and training are key. With this module, we'll go beyond what you learned in OSHA 10, exploring advanced systems, proactive inspection protocols, and situational assessments that are critical on a construction site. We're here to make sure that safety is your first tool and best defense. Let's carry that mindset forward as we continue into the next chapter, where we'll dive into the specifics of fall protection systems. Stay with us, and let's commit to making every site a safer place to work. Let's move to Chapter 2, Comprehensive Overview of Fall Protection Systems. Now that we understand why fall protection is so important, let's explore the specific systems designed to keep you safe on the job. In this chapter, we're taking a closer look at some of the most crucial fall protection systems you'll encounter on a construction site, each with its own unique role in safeguarding lives. Let's start with one of the most common and essential forms of fall protection, guardrail systems. Think of these as the sturdy fences on a construction site. They're there to prevent you from stepping into danger. Guardrails are built to withstand 200 pounds of force from any direction. They should include a top rail, mid-rail, and toe board to prevent accidental slips or trips near the edge. But here's something critical. These aren't just makeshift barriers. OSHA has strict requirements for guardrail dimensions and spacing. Top rails must be between 39 and 45 inches above the working surface. Here's a story to drive this home.
A contractor once tried to cut corners, using makeshift guardrails instead of approved materials. Everything was fine, until a sudden storm hit. The improvised guardrails couldn't hold up and a worker ended up injured.
The lesson here, guardrails aren't just guidelines, they're lifesavers. Always make sure they meet OSHA's standards. Next up, Personal Fall Arrest System, or PFAS. A critical backup when a fall actually happens. PFAS is designed to catch you mid-fall, but remember, this system is more than just a harness. The key to an effective PFAS is fit. Imagine putting on a tailored suit. It should be snug and secure, but never restrictive. An ill-fitting harness can create just as much danger as no harness at all. And here's an important update. OSHA no longer allows body belts in fall arrest systems due to the risks they pose. Here's a quick story.
Mia, an apprentice, once wore her harness a bit too loosely. When she experienced a minor fall, her harness nearly slipped off. She was lucky, but it was a wake-up call. A properly fitted harness is essential. Treat it like a lifeline because it just might.
Now let's talk about safety monitoring and warning line systems. A two-part strategy to keep workers aware of hazardous zones. In many cases, these are used together to create a visual and verbal alert system. In a safety monitoring system, only trained, competent individuals can serve as monitors. Their job, to keep a vigilant eye on workers near hazard zones and to communicate clearly about risks. Meanwhile, warning lines, typically set up on roof edges, act as a physical boundary. They signal to everyone, stay back, danger ahead. This dual-layer protection, safety monitors and warning lines, reinforces awareness. In high-risk zones, these systems remind us to stay cautious and keep our focus on safety. Lastly, let's look at positioning device systems. These are designed to help workers operate hands-free while still staying safe, especially for tasks like rebar tying or wall scaling. Unlike fall arrest systems, positioning devices are not meant to catch you if you fall. Instead, they're designed to prevent a fall by keeping you secure in place. Here's an example.
Mark was setting concrete on a high-rise, relying on his positioning device. When a sudden gust caught him off balance, his device kept him secure, allowing him to regain his footing safely.
Positioning devices allow you to focus on the task at hand, but always remember, they're for stability, not for fall arrest. As we wrap up Chapter 2, remember that each fall protection system serves a distinct purpose. Knowing how each one works, and using them correctly, can mean the difference between a close call and a life-changing accident. Now, let's test your understanding. Take a moment to think about these questions and discuss them with your colleagues. Now welcome to Chapter 3, Inspection and Monitoring Protocols. Every system, no matter how advanced, is only as reliable as its condition. Regular inspections and vigilant monitoring are what turn safety systems into life-saving tools.
Imagine stepping onto a job site, trusting that your harness, lanyards, and guardrails will protect you if anything goes wrong. But what if a small defect, a worn-out strap, a rusted buckle goes unnoticed?
A minor flaw can lead to a major disaster. Let's start with inspecting harnesses and lanyards. The personal gear that might one day save your life. When inspecting these items, here's what to look for: cuts, burns, frays, and rusted metal components. Even the smallest tear or crack can compromise performance. A small tear might seem harmless, but it can grow under stress and fail when it matters most. When inspecting metal parts, make sure there's no rust or warping. Every component of your harness should be in top condition, ready to bear the weight of an emergency. Think of it like this: your harness is your last line of defense. If there's any doubt, it's worth taking the time to ensure it's ready for the task at hand. Inspections aren't just something we do once in a while. They need to be part of a regular routine. In high-use environments, OSHA recommends weekly and monthly checks to make sure equipment is in top shape. Set up a schedule to rotate through all the fall protection gear. Weekly inspections catch issues that develop from frequent use, while monthly checks give a more thorough overview of each piece of equipment, Creating a habit of these inspections means that you're never relying on worn or damaged gear. You're consistently proactive about safety, catching potential hazards before they catch you. Let's look at a real-world example.
Alex, a safety officer, was performing a routine inspection when he found a critical defect in a worker's lanyard. It had a barely noticeable cut, but under tension, that cut could have easily snapped.
Had Alex overlooked that flaw, the consequences could have been deadly. Thanks to his careful inspection, the lanyard was replaced, and a life was potentially saved. It's a reminder that inspections aren't just tasks, they're life-saving steps. Alongside inspections, monitoring systems play a crucial role in safety. Monitoring doesn't stop at the equipment. Every worker on site needs to stay aware of their surroundings, and trained safety monitors need to keep a close watch on areas where fall risks are high. In monitoring roles, being able to identify and communicate risks in real time can prevent accidents before they even happen. Whether it's a loose guardrail or a slippery surface, these details matter. Vigilant monitoring keeps everyone alert and aware. As we wrap up Chapter 3, let's remember that inspection and monitoring aren't one-time tasks. They're ongoing commitments. Each inspection, each monitor, each extra look over your shoulder, it's all part of building a culture of safety. Now, let's test your understanding. Take a moment to think about these questions and discuss them with your colleagues. Here's the final chapter: Special Situations and Advanced Safety Strategies. On complex construction sites, different scenarios require specific fall protection measures, and having the right plan in place can make all the difference. Let's start with working on roofs. Roof work, especially on low-slope and steep roofs, comes with its own set of challenges. Low-slope roofs require guardrails or warning lines combined with a safety monitor. Steep roofs, those with a slope greater than 4 and 12, demand even stricter measures, including guardrails with toe boards.
Imagine working on a roof in winter conditions. The slope is steep, and the surface is slick with frost. Without the right protection, one misstep could lead to a dangerous fall. But with secure guardrails and the proper footwear, you're equipped to work safely no matter the conditions.
Next, let's talk about working around formwork and steel reinforcement. Environments where confined spaces and limited escape routes increase the stakes. Here, access to fall arrest systems or safety nets is crucial. When working in these confined spaces, there's no room for error. Proper fall arrest systems are essential, not just as a backup, but as a primary layer of protection in high-risk settings.
Picture this. You're working near steel rebar, focused on precise positioning. With little room to maneuver, having a fall arrest system gives you the confidence to work efficiently and safely, knowing there's a safety net, literally and figuratively, if you need it.
Now let's focus on equipment and hoist areas, where heavy machinery, open floor holes, and dynamic environments add an extra level of risk. In these areas, always cover floor holes or install guardrails to prevent falls and ensure the site is clear of trip hazards. Imagine being near a floor hole that isn't properly covered. It only takes a momentary lapse in focus for an accident to happen. Guardrails and coverings around these openings are essential to prevent falls, not just for you but for the safety of everyone on site. In high-traffic equipment areas, everyone needs to stay alert, and these barriers keep the site safe, no matter how busy the environment. Let's consider a real-life example of advanced strategies at work.
During a winter project, a worker on a steep roof lost traction on an icy patch. Thanks to guardrails, toe boards, and non-slip footwear, he avoided a dangerous slip. This situation underscores the importance of selecting the right equipment and safety measures for each condition.
In high-risk scenarios, preparation is everything. Always assess the environment and make sure your safety equipment matches the hazards you might encounter. Before we conclude, let's reflect on a few final tips for making safety a daily habit. First, never rush inspections. Fall protection equipment needs careful attention. Don't let a tight schedule lead to oversight. Second, practice emergency drills. Know the plan, know the equipment, and make sure everyone on site is trained. In an emergency, every second counts. And finally, encourage peer accountability. Safety isn't just personal, it's a team effort. When every worker looks out for each other, everyone benefits. Fall protection is everyone's responsibility, from apprentices to supervisors. Now, let's test your understanding. Take a moment to think about these questions and discuss them with your colleagues. Congratulations! You've completed Module 14 of the OSHA 30-hour construction training. By now, you've gained valuable knowledge that goes far beyond the basics, preparing you for the unique and challenging environments of construction work. Now, it's up to you. Take what you've learned here and apply it every day. Keep inspecting your equipment, practice your emergency plans, and be a leader in creating a culture of safety. Test your knowledge by clicking the quiz link in the description. Do you have any questions? Leave them in the comments below and we'll be happy to help. Stay tuned for the next module, where we'll tackle a whole new set of safety challenges. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to OSHA Outreach courses.